I am Luther Ragsdale, broker, CEO of Platinum Real Estate. I started this firm about 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I started Platinum Real Estate. We are a full service real estate firm right here in Atlanta, Georgia. We also have offices in Miami, Orlando, and Tampa, Florida as well. But today, my goal is to talk about Atlanta, Georgia, and finding you your next home. Our goal is to get you into your next home with the home buying process. Feel free at any time if you have questions, you can leave it right there in the chat. So the agenda today, what's on the agenda today? We're going to have about 30 minutes of the presentation where I will be teaching you the process. Then we'll have 30 minutes or even more Q&A, questions and answers. But you basically don't want to miss this. Stay the entire time. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. And most importantly, I want to personally give you a one-on-one consultation. It's absolutely free. I will do the consultation myself. And I want to do this consultation to help you purchase your next home. Now, I'm going to put in the chat how you can register for that consultation. It's go.platinumrealestate.com. That's go as in go .platinumrealestate.com. So at any time, you can go to go.platinumrealestate.com and you can book a one-on-one consultation with me. So tomorrow, first thing tomorrow, everybody who have booked that one-on-one consultation, you will have a one-on-one consultation with me. And I already see people are booking that one-on-one consultation. Well, congratulations, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. Now, question, do you feel stressed out? Do you have concerns? Do you feel intimidated? Maybe you're anxious, uncertain. Maybe you don't know exactly what the process is all about. Maybe you don't have a team that can help you. Don't worry about it. Today, my goal is to give you education. And I always tell everybody, I have been doing this for 30 years. So here's the reality. You might have concerns, right? You personally might feel a little stressed out, but that's okay. That's okay. Why? Because maybe it's your first house, but I've been doing this for 30 years, right? Maybe it's your first house and you're concerned, but that's why you have me on your team. That is what I am here for. Okay. So, take the time. Let's go through this. And I want to give you the, comfort that I have a team. I have an executive staff that will assist me to assist you. So here's the process. You're going to have a one-on-one consultation, and it's right there on the screen. Go.platinumrealestate.com. That's how you book the one-on-one consultation. But I have an executive staff that reports directly to me. And my executive staff will help you locate the property, will show you the property, and we will handle everything from A to Z. I also have preferred lenders, closing attorneys, inspectors, appraisers, everything you need to have success. We can help you go through the process of being successful and purchasing your next home. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, who is this webinar for, right? What is this really about? Well, first of all, if you want clarity on how do I purchase a property with the current housing conditions, this webinar is for you. If you're paying more than $2,000 worth of rent, the goal is not to rent, the goal is to own. to build wealth, generational wealth, it's about owning real estate. A lot of people, the largest investment we have is our home. A lot of people's biggest net worth is tied up in their home. Okay. If you're thinking about buying a home, if you want to buy a home, this webinar is for you. If you're tired of the landlord, you're tired of paying rent, you are tired of having just a bunch of receipts and you own nothing, this webinar is for the individual who wants to own where you live, want to own where you sleep. And this is for your family, for your children, for your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever. Is if you want to own a home, this webinar is for you. If you want to improve your financial situation, I recently had a client who said, I'm going to file my taxes and I'm going to take my tax return and I'm going to purchase a property. This webinar is for you. If you're tired of wasting money on rent, if you want to gain more equity, and if you just want to, number one, understand the process, and number two, if you say, I need a team, I need experienced real estate broker on my side, I need to have somebody who already have the team in place to help me succeed, this webinar is for you. Now, you're probably wondering, Luther, can I even buy a home? Well, there's two ways to buy a home. One way is cash, right? Purchase a property cash. That's one way. Well, a lot of people say, Luther, I don't have, $200,000, $300,000 cash. So if you have cash, book your appointment right now. Let's talk. If you say, Luther, I don't have cash, right? I need financing. I want to, use creative financing. I want to use a mortgage. Okay, great. No problem. Let's talk about, can I even buy a home? Let's just talk about some things that we need to think about and consider. If you look right there on the screen, do you have 2 years worth of work experiences? Here's some questions you want to ask yourself. Because you're probably saying, can I purchase a home? All right. Do you have 2 years worth of work experience? Right now, I want to clarify something. I did not say you have to be on your job for 2 years, because maybe you was on a job for a year or maybe a year and a half, and recently you switched jobs. Maybe you was on your job for 4 years and recently you switched jobs. You have 2 years worth of work experience in that field, so you're still fine. Next, have you had a foreclosure within the last year? Next, do I have established credit? TRW, Equifax, TransUnion. Do I have established credit? And the next question, do I have a credit score of 560 or more? The majority of our programs, the lender that I use, the preferred lender, she have a lot of great programs. But typically the minimum score that we're looking for is 560 or better. Now somebody might say, Luther, what if my credit score is worse than 560? Well, we can still put you on a plan. Maybe you're not going to buy right now, but let's put you on a plan. There's a lot of different strategies we can use to get your score above the 560. But right now, the minimum, what we like to see is a 560 credit score or better. Next, am I currently saving money month to month? Do I pay my rent on time? Am I saving money, right? What's my financial situation? That's important, but when we're getting ready to buy a house. Next question, have I been late on my car payment for twice within the last 12 months? So within the last 12 months, Have I been late on my car payment twice within the last 12 months? If you've been late on your car payment 3, 4, 5, 6 months within the last 12 months, we can see some difficulties getting approved for a further loan. Next, am I in default of my student loans? Big word there says default. Do I have a student loan and I'm in default? And then last but not least, have I declared bankruptcy within the past 2 years? Here's some questions to ask that's saying, can I buy a home now? Am I ready to buy a home now? Very, very important questions for us to answer so we can make decisions. Do we want to buy a home now, or do we need to make some adjustments and do some things so that we can be ready to purchase a home in the future? Okay, listen, the chat line is open. Please feel free. Put questions in the chat. Put questions in the chat, whatever questions that you have. All right, next, let's talk about some basic steps. So we're talking about financing, right? We're talking about money, because I said there was two ways to buy real estate. One way was to just purchase it cash. The second way is financing, and the majority of my clients, we use financing. So let's talk about some basic steps to getting you into your next home. Number one, get pre-approved by our lender. We have a preferred lender. She's been with us for forever. Her name is Tamara. She does a wonderful job. She is our preferred lender. She's been doing this for 30 years as well, just like me. First thing we want you to do is to get you pre-approved for the financing. There's a lot of financial programs out there. I see in the chat. What about VA? Yes, there's VA loans out there. What do I love about VA? VA is no money down. What's VA? Veterans Assistance. It's for veterans. The next says overall monthly housing expenses. And what price do you qualify for? So first we have to get you pre-approved for the financing. Then we want to let's look at your housing expenses. Let's see what you really qualify for. And then next, let's break down the monthly payment. So we get you approved. We look at your expenses. We break down the monthly payment. And then we also calculate that monthly payment so you know exactly how much the monthly payment is for you to purchase this wonderful house. Now, we also look at closing costs and down payment. Let's talk about the difference between closing costs and down payment. A down payment, that's what you that's what you pay when you purchase the house. That's the down payment to get into the home. There's a lot of programs out there, from no down payment to very small down payments. I know we have heard 20% down to buy a house. No, there's a lot of programs out there, and you can pay a lot less than 20% down. There's no down payment programs out there. There's 3% down, 3.5% down. Look, I'm not a lender. I'm a real estate broker. But here's the deal. We will partner with our lender, and we will get you into the best financing program for you. Okay? And the lender will work very, very closely with you and with me to make sure it's a very smooth transaction from start to finish. Now, step 2, next, you will use a member of my executive team. So you're going to use my preferred lender. You're going to use a member of my executive team, And we're going to work together to make sure this is very smooth to get you to the closing table. We will discuss your needs and wants. What's your needs and wants? What do you need in your home compared to what you want in your home? We will do a needs and wants analysis, right? What do you really need? Well, I need 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. I need a 2-car garage because I have 2 cars. I want a jacuzzi. I want a pool in the backyard. These are things that I want. So we will figure out what you need compared to what you want. We will then preview the homes. We will then do walkthroughs with the home. Then once we find the home for you, we will write the contract, negotiate the contract, and then close the deal. Very, very important. We will understand your needs and your wants. We will then locate the property, analyze the property, make sure it's the perfect property for you. We will then write the contract, negotiate the contract, and then close the deal for you. Next step, step number 3. My executive team will then send the contract. So we've negotiated the deal. Everybody have agreed on the deal. We have agreed on the price. We have agreed on the closing date. We then send that purchase agreement to the lender. And the lender now looks at the contract, looks at the term of the contract, and then the lender is going to lock in the rate. The lender is going to lock in all of the details on the deal. So now we have a contract. It goes to the lender. The lender locks in all of the details on the financing for that particular property. So let's go back. Step 1, we get approved. We are approved for the financing, but we don't have the exact house. Once we find the house and we put that house under contract, now the contract goes to the lender. Now the lender can lock in the specific financing and we can go over the numbers for that particular house. Next step, we will then have a full inspection on the house. I always recommend an inspection. Now, Georgia law will not require you to show up. Georgia law does not require you to have an inspection. It's not required. I always recommend it, but it's not required. So we will have an inspection. Typically, we will also have an appraiser. The appraisal tells us the value of the home. And then we have a homeowner's insurance policy. You know, everybody understands car insurance. You have car insurance on your car for a automobile accident. Well, we will also have homeowner's insurance. This is on your home. It's a homeowner's policy on your home. And then we also have an appraisal. Basically, the appraisal says, hey, the lender says, I will give you the mortgage, I will give you the financing, I will give you the money, but I want to make sure that when I give you the money on this house, the property appraises, or that the property have the value. It protects you. It also protects the lender as well. And then number 4, the 4th basic step is the lender prepares all of the closing documents. The lender sends the money to the closing attorney. Typically, it's by wire. And then the buyer, the seller, we go to the closing. Oh, the lender wires the money to the closing attorney. The buyer, that's us. We go to the closing. The seller, that's the individual selling the property. We all go to the closing, and great. You now have keys to your new home. Our job My job is to make sure everything is nice and smooth from the beginning all the way to when you get the keys at the end. It's a nice, smooth transition for you. Now, I am the broker of the firm. So let me kind of explain. You have real estate agents, and then the next level is a real estate broker. So a real estate broker have been in the business longer, extra education, extra knowledge in the business. I'm the broker and CEO of Platinum Real Estate. So as the broker, I have an executive staff that specifically works with me. Their job, they only help people that have come to my webinar just like this. So I have at Platinum Real Estate, we have over 130 different licensed agents, but I've only picked specific agents that's a part of my executive staff. And those agents, they're the ones that's going to help you. There's a lot of lenders out there, both good and bad, but we have a preferred lender that helps my clients. Okay, we have a preferred closing attorney, a preferred inspector. So everything you need to make this happen, we already have. So you're not out there trying to reinvent the wheel. So you now have your keys. So congratulations, you now have your new home. So I would like to now go into, and I'd like to just talk about some myths. Oh, I see I have a question here in the chat. Oh, okay, excellent question. We have a question here. It says, Luther, what is the typical time frame for closing on a house? Now, that is a very loaded question, because that could happen in 14 days, that could happen in 30 days. The lender will tell us with the particular loan program that you're getting, the lender can say the loan will take 14 days or 30 days, possibly even 45 days. I mentioned cash. If you're paying cash for a house, that can happen in 7 days, right? That can happen in 10 days. So it depends on the overall deal, right? I am representing you, the buyer. So as the buyer, you're going to also tell me what you're comfortable with. The buyer might say, hey, you know what, Luther? I would like to do this, to close this deal in 30 days. Okay, great. We can do it in 30 days. Here's another one. If you are renting, do not worry about your lease. Do not worry about your lease. Why? Because we have strategies where your lease might not expire until 9 months or 6 months or 4 months from now. You can still buy a house now. You do not have to wait until your lease expires. Okay. One more question here. I had a foreclosure using my VA loan. Can I get another VA loan? Is the answer yes? You know, that's a very loaded question, because that's a personal question. So we have to kind of look at your overall financial situation and exactly what's going on. I can't really answer that live in the webinar now, but book your consultation, and a part of that consultation, we will then be able to ask you questions, see what's going on with you, and we can then answer then yes or no. Okay, so that's a question that I really can't answer right now. All right, now I see there's some more questions, and I'm going to get to every question in that chat, but before I answer another question, let me answer some of these questions, because it might help you as well. And some of the questions, some of the answers might already be in that chat. Okay, question: who pays the real estate commission? Typically the seller. Now it's negotiable. But 99.999% of the time, every deal that I've had, when I represent the buyer, the seller pays my commission. Why is that good for you? I'm working with you, the buyer. I'm helping you, the buyer, but the seller pays my commission. That's a win-win. You cannot beat that. Now, I said 99.99. I did not say 100% of the time. I have had very, very rare occasions where the buyer pays my commission. But you'll know going into the deal, before we write the contract, I will put in that contract for the seller to pay my entire commission. You will know when you sign that contract that the seller's paying my commission. Okay? Questions. Look, drop those questions in the chat. Listen. Book that consultation right now. It is right there on the screen. Go.platinumrealestate.com. Go.platinumrealestate.com. Book your one-on-one consultation with me. I'm going to have one-on-one consultations tomorrow. So book your consultation tonight. I will indeed talk to you tomorrow. Okay? All right. Next, what should I do now? Number one, book that one-on-one consultation. Number two, now is a great time to purchase your home. And number three, let's determine how much home you can purchase, and let's talk about your time frame as well. Let me jump into the chat here, because I know I have some more questions. Somebody says, I am trying to save up the down payment, but I have $10,000 worth of debt, but my credit score is 695. You need to schedule that one-on-one consultation. We need to talk tomorrow. I said there's programs out there with little to no down payment. So I hear you. You were saying, Luther, I have some debt, right? Got it. But you also said you have a credit score of 695. We have programs that the credit score is as low as 560. So what am I saying here? Let's talk tomorrow, one-on-one consultation, and let's get you into your next house. Okay? Let me see. Another question here. I am self-employed. Can I buy a home without my tax returns? There are bank statement loans, lots of loans out there. Will they help me? And I think you answered your own question, right? There's a lot of different programs out there. There's a lot of different programs out there, and the lender that we use have a lot of different programs. So being self-employed, there's a program out there for you. And again, we have to look at your entire situation to decide which program is best for you. So let's talk about how this thing works. Okay. Tomorrow, you will have a one-on-one consultation with me. Once you have that one-on-one consultation with me, we will then set you up with your plan for success. And a part of your plan for your success is the financing, right? Remember, cash or financing, you'll say, look, I want cash. Great. Then we're going to then put together your plan to purchase your home. All right. Another a question here. It says, what about a cosigner? Yes, there's programs out there where you can say, look, I want to use a cosigner. Now let's talk about cosigners. A cosigner basically says, hey, I'm going to buy the house but my parents or a relative or somebody else will co-sign for me. There's loan programs out there, right? Absolutely. There's programs out there. Um, uh, Here's another question here. What is the best program for a first-time home buyer? That's a loaded question. Here's why. And here's one thing that I hope everybody learns this evening. There's no one program that's going to be best for everybody. Okay? So from this webinar standpoint, it's impossible for me to say this program is the best first-time homebuyer program. Why? Because everybody's different. Everybody's financial situation is different. Okay? So since your financial situation is different, everybody needs a different type of a program. What program works for one will not work for the next person, right? And so with that being said, it's hard for me to say this is the best first-time homebuyer program. Here's how the Platinum Real Estate home buying program works. We want to have a one-on-one consultation with you personally. Once we have that one-on-one consultation with you personally, we then want to say, okay, we're having a one-on-one consultation with you. Let's get you in the best program for you. There's not a best program for everybody. There's not a best program for a first-time homebuyer. We want to get the best program that's the best for you. That's the best program out there. Okay. Somebody else have a question here. I am really trying to decide because I have a piece of land and I want to build on the land. Okay. All right. You have a piece of land. Great. You want to build on that land. Great. The house that you build, are you going to pay cash? So let's say you want to build a $600,000 house on this piece of land. Are you going to pay cash? Maybe yes, probably no. Let's just say no. If you're saying, Luther, I'm not going to pay cash, I'm going to build it, and I want to get financing to then build the house on the land. Look, you need a plan. And that's what this webinar is all about. And that's what the one-on-one consultation is really all about. Putting together the plan for you. So we can then say, here's the process. Here's the financing. Here's the steps that it's going to take to build your dream house on your piece of land. Then you can make an educated decision. Right now, you might can't make an educated decision, right? Because you're contemplating things. Look, the consultation with me is absolutely free, but you get good education to put together a plan to then build that dream home. Okay? Look, let me put this in the chat. go.platinumrealestate.com. All right, go.platinumrealestate.com. Go there right now. Yes, I see some people are booking your one-on-one call. Book that call right now at go.platinumrealestate.com. Let me check out my chat, see if I have any questions here. Let me also look at my Q&A. What is the typical time frame for closing the house? Okay, I think that I've already answered that one. I've answered that one. All right, listen, you guys. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions here? Any other questions at all? Now is the time for you to book your call. You can book your call at go.platinumrealestate.com. Let me check my chat. All right, I think I've answered the majority of the questions in the chat, and I have answered all of the questions in the Q&A as well. Question here. Okay, somebody have a question. Just popped up. It says, will sellers pay closing costs? Excellent question. The question is, will sellers pay closing costs? The answer is, it's 100% negotiable. So let's talk about closing costs first. First, let's explain what closing cost is. So a closing cost is a cost to close the loan. So I will give you one example. The closing attorney charges to close the loan. This is considered a closing cost. So there's cost to close the loan. Those costs are negotiable. The buyer can sell it or the seller can pay it, right? So it's strictly negotiable. My goal and our goal representing you, the goal is to have the seller pay it. That's what we would like. That's what benefits us as a buyer. I am representing you, the buyer. I am helping you, the buyer. So the goal is to have the seller pay it. But here's the deal. When we write the contract, as we negotiate the contract, you will know whether the seller's paying all of the closing costs, half of the closing cost, or whatever. And so before we close this deal, you will have quality information. You will know who's paying the closing costs. So the question is, will the seller pay it? We will negotiate it. We want to negotiate it, right? But it's not a guarantee. But since I represent you, the seller, since I represent you, the buyer, my goal is to have the seller pay it because I represent you. All right? Oh, question. Somebody says, can I have my one-on-one consultation a day other than tomorrow? Absolutely, yes. You can book your call tomorrow, or you can book it another day. If you're busy tomorrow, no big deal. We can always do it another day. Here's the deal. Book your call. If you want to do it tomorrow, fantastic. If you say, no, I would rather do it another day, we can do it another day as well. Okay, so no, we don't have to just do it tomorrow. Okay, I'm very open. Schedule is very open. My executive staff is ready to go, so everything is very open. We are here for you. Okay. All right. Questions. It looks like that I have answered my question. Look, book that call. Go.platinumrealestate.com. Go.platinumrealestate.com and book your call today. All right. All right. It looks like I don't have any more questions. Look, I am Luther Ragsdale. Feel free to Google my name, Luther Ragsdale. You can also Google my corporation, Platinum Real Estate. Learn more about us. Also, let me put my LutherRagsdale.com. If you want to learn more about me, go to LutherRagsdale.com. If you want to learn more about my corporation, go to PlatinumRealEstate.com. So LutherRagsdale.com or PlatinumRealEstate.com. And then you can learn more about me. You can also learn more about my corporation as well. Okay? All right, you guys. Thank you very much. I said that the presentation was 30 minutes, and I did not lie. I said after that was just a little bit of Q&A. So I think that I have kept my promise. If you have any other questions, or if you think of some questions tonight or whatever, feel free to go ahead and bring your questions to your free call. All right. I look forward to speaking to everybody soon. Thank you. May God bless you. Have a wonderful evening.